Well, Jessica, wondering why it took the mother so long to realize two of her children weren't breathing or weren't responsive. Was there a chance, are police looking into the chance that she might have been inside the casino at one point and then came out and realized this?
Another video. This first clip I'm gonna play is it's the clip of when the incident first happened. So let's jump into the clip.
Comprehend 2 children are dead tonight, found frozen to death inside a family van.
It appears a large family was living in the vehicle when it was discovered inside the Hollywood Casino parking garage at Greektown today. Fox 2's Jessica Dupnack has been following this story since she broke it, actually, and it is so sad that this happened to this family. What's the status now? What's going on with the mother?
Well, mom is being detained. Police will not say that she's arrested, but detained at this point. I want to paint a little picture of what these children have been enduring. When police went up to the van earlier today to seize evidence, they found just a couple of blankets inside and the 2 children that were frozen to death. The 2-year-old wearing a T-shirt and a pull-up, and the 9-year-old wearing a T-shirt and joggers. Police say this is now a full-blown criminal investigation. Tragedy. One phone call could have prevented it all.
The female says child not breathing. They are car at Greektown Casino parking structure.
Around 1 a.m. Monday morning, a gray minivan pulled into the Hollywood Casino at Greektown parking structure, parked on the 9th floor. Either it ran out of gas or had a mechanical issue, leaving the family of 6 without heat.
Around noon, the mother inside the van, along with 5 children, noticed that one of the children wasn't breathing. And she called family to come help, to convey to Children's Hospital.
That was the 2-year-old. Then not long after, the mom called the same family member, their godmother, to say the 9-year-old child was not breathing. Both were taken to Children's Hospital downtown, pronounced dead. Doctors believe they froze to death.
Sad, very sad, especially as a father. I just can't imagine what the family is feeling. I wish it hadn't have happened.
The 2-year-old wearing a T-shirt and pull-up. The older child in a T-shirt and jogging pants, only a couple blankets in the car. The other 3 children also checked out at the hospital are expected to be okay. They're being placed with Children's Protective Services, and now their mom is detained, being investigated for possible criminal charges.
I don't think anyone really wants to think about that at the moment with the 2 children passed, but the reality is that the circumstances do have to be examined. We have to figure out how to go forward.
The city of
So y'all heard that, and to me, with the way I think, a lot of stuff that I just heard in that clip, a lot of stuff not adding up to me. It don't make sense, but I'm not gonna dig deep into it. I'm gonna let y'all. I want to see if you guys pick things that's wrong with this whole story that's been told. One thing I will say is, and I will speak on, is about the 2-year-old having on just a shirt and a freaking pull-up on in a van in a freezing cold. What logic was they using? 2 grown adult women. You would think that you would have everybody in that van doubled or triple clothed, given the circumstances, but that wasn't the case. But let's keep going.
Here in Detroit, there are over 1,400 beds for people that don't have homes, and about 110 of those are reserved for those drop-in emergency situations that this family could have taken advantage of. As far as the criminal investigation, Detroit police now working backwards. We do understand that the family did at one time live in an apartment on the city's east side, but they don't anymore. They were living out of that van. They're reviewing security footage here at Hollywood Casino to see if this is a place where they came often. Still a lot to unpack. And again, this is a full-blown criminal investigation now with Mom. Reporting live in Greektown, Jessica Dupnack on The Edge.
Well, Jessica, wondering why it took the mother so long to realize two of her children weren't breathing or weren't responsive. Was there a chance, are police looking into the chance that she might have been inside the casino at one point and then came out and realized this?
That's a good question. We asked that earlier. There wasn't an indication that she was inside, more so looking for a safe, kind of tucked away place to park her vehicle. But those are questions that they'll be reviewing that video and possibly use it as evidence. But it just all happened very quickly. You're talking really only 11 hours or so without heat. It's unclear in that time when the children passed or if they had any predisposition, malnourished or anything like that, that made all of this happen much quicker.
Okay, so now this clip I'm about to show is more recent one from the last one that I just showed. But as y'all heard in the last clip, they were looking at criminal charges at the time because obviously they felt it was some things done that probably shouldn't have been done. I would say as far as neglect, as far as the 2-year-old being underdressed or some things like that, and whatever else they found that was abnormal probably is what I'm thinking. But let's get into this next clip.
All hands on deck
as we prepare to honor the lives of Darnell and Amelia Curry.
The city of Detroit working to honor the lives of two of its youngest residents who died under tragic circumstances.
Our Department of Housing and Revitalization is working diligently to secure stable housing for the family.
The move comes as an investigation is underway by Detroit police after the Curry children, just 2 and 9 years old, are believed to have froze to death as they lived with their mother and siblings in the family's van.
We are hopeful that we will have them settled in a safe and comfortable home by this weekend.
The city of Detroit is not only working to help the family get housing, they're also helping the family with funeral expenses.
All aspects of the services, including the repast, are being provided at no cost to the family. The city has been deeply involved in coordinating every detail of the visitation and funeral services with the single goal of easing as much of the burden on the family as possible.
The city of Detroit has partnered with New McFall Brothers Funeral Home.
We immediately sprung into action and we decided that we would donate our services. We know that this mother and this father have experienced a horrendous loss.
The funeral home providing details of next week's funeral.
Next Thursday at the Triumph Church, Pastor Solomon Kinlock has graciously opened the doors of his church.
And the public is invited as an entire community waits for answers on how this unthinkable tragedy could have happened.
Both the 14-day administrative review and the DPD investigation are still ongoing. We are committed and remain committed to transparency and will share updates as soon as the investigations are complete.
In Detroit, Ingrid Kelly, Fox 2 News.
Beds in the van to stay warm. At some point during the night, the van battery died. Monday afternoon, while trying to get the van jumped by a family member, she realized her 9-year-old son wasn't breathing. Williams and a family member took the boy to the hospital, but it was too late. And while she was there, her 2-year-old daughter was found not breathing.
My son died right there in my face. He probably was already gone, but he died right there to me. I'll go see my other baby. She's not breathing. They let me hold her till I heard her last breath. The last breath she had. They said it was nothing they could do.
There's not one person that isn't grieving right alongside of this mother. Certainly there are concerns about why this family was not able to get help when they needed it. Williams said that she did try to call the city of Detroit to access resources.
Mayor Mike Duggan addressed this yesterday, saying Williams had contact with the city in November asking for a place to stay. But there was no follow-up from the family or the city staff. The mayor saying bottom line here is this tragedy did not have to happen.
It's a terrible day in Detroit as we deal with the tragic loss of 2 young people, and it's got to make us rethink everything that we're doing. The heartbreaking part of this is that there were family shelter beds available just a few miles away.
Mayor Duggan says he's now calling for a review of the city's homeless services. Police say this case is still being investigated and a cause of death is being determined for those children.
The tragic situation that happened with two of our young people, children, that preliminarily it looked like they froze to death, died from exposure to hypothermia. So everything that I'm going to give you at this point is preliminary in nature as we continue with our investigation. So therefore, it could be subject to change, and I'll give further updates later. But the children were asleep in a car on the 9th floor of a casino parking structure, the Hollywood Casino. The mother realized that her 9-year-old son wasn't breathing. Also, previous to that, she had already called a friend, another, close relative, to help because with the vehicle not running, trying to figure out whether it was a mechanical failure, it had ran out of gas. So they were already on site in another vehicle, attempting with gasoline to get the vehicle started. When the mother realized that her son wasn't breathing, she did make a 911 call, but the friend in a Buick immediately transported the 9-year-old, put him in the car and transported them to Children's Hospital. While en route to Children's Hospital, as they checked on the other children that were in the van, and it was a total of 5 children in the van, they realized at some point that the 2-year-old wasn't breathing, and so a telephone call was made to the friend that was transporting the 9-year-old at Children's Hospital to return so that the 2-year-old could be picked up. Once the vehicle returned, the Buick, we have videotape where we see the whole entire family get into the Buick, and they all were transported to Children's Hospital. With that, like I said, the call came in at 12:12 from the mother. It was very limited information that was given to our 911 call taker as to the location of where everything was happening. It was just at the casino, no description of the vehicle, etc. Our call taker continuously kept the line opening, trying to identify where in the description and what was going on. A 911 call taker called the mom back numerous times, and ultimately we received a call from the hospital that they had 2 children there who were deceased. Our officers responded to the hospital. The hospital had notified us at 12:47. Our officers, like I said, responded to the hospital, and from there we continued with the investigation, talked to the mother, and also talked to the grandmother, and they were able to give us the specific locations as to where the van actually was that was parked on the 9th floor at the Motor City Casino. And so we do know that on that day and time that the temperatures were below 32 degrees. And from all, talking to hospital staff, and of course, ultimately the medical examiner will determine the cause of death. But just on the surface right now, it appears that it was exposure to hypothermia. So at this point, I loved her kids, and she wanted to keep the family together.
Thank you.
Julia Cardi, Detroit News.
Yes.
Are you able to say how many times before had this family been to this casino?
I don't know that specifically at this point.
This is a sad situation, and I'm not trying to bash anyone or be hard, but sometimes, because they keep saying that she was too prideful, does that mean she was too prideful and that she wanted to keep her kids together, that she was too prideful and wanted to keep her kids together? But does that mean like you didn't want to separate them if needed be to go to some separate family members' houses, or what? Like you didn't want to separate from your kids where they go to family members' house and you go to a shelter? Like what does that mean? Like I want to know, because it comes a point in time where you got to do what you have to do. Because if it's cold out here, guess what I'm going to do? If I don't have stable housing, I want my kids to be safe. If I had to put them at responsible family members' houses that I know and trust, that's what I'm going to do. And I will be out here living in the cold in my car, not my kids. Kids are just not equipped. No human, period. But kids especially is not equipped to handle and endure these type of conditions when it's cold outside. It's just not possible. And to have a 2-year-old in the van with just a shirt and a pull-up on is insane. Like, but y'all like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification button. Bye.